Hi, I'm Dan, and welcome back to the Rock Nerd Radio Show here on YouTube. Today we are doing a which is better figure comparison. I just got the new Walmart exclusive retro card Prowler figure. We're going to compare it to the older Prowler figure that came out in the Lizard Build-A-Figure wave. So let's take a look at both of these figures and see if we can't figure out, well, which one's better.
Come geek out with us on the Rock Nerd Radio Show.
I'm going to be completely honest with you. I have just opened the new retro card Prowler, so I don't have any of this which is better planned out. This is all happening kind of live as I record. Normally I have some notes and things like that. Everything that I'm going to talk about now is happening as I'm recording. Just wanted to say that. But my first round on which is better was always about the paint and overall appearance of the figures. One thing to point out right away, the Lizard Wave Prowler has a very dark purple as his, purple accents. It's almost like a metallic purple. It is shiny. He doesn't have the black mask piece, if I zoom in on the head here, that the retro card has. So there is that. Now, Prowler's been drawn different ways over the years, so it's probably just a different interpretation. But I really do like the metallic purple on this figure. I actually prefer it to look like that because I always pictured the rest of the, the green part of him as like a, cloth type material, but the gauntlets and the boots, like I pictured that as being like more armor because they house like gadgets and stuff. So I always pictured that as being something that would be metal. Maybe the mask and cape don't need to be the same color, but I do like the darker metallic purple. You can see the green it's not quite a bright green. It's like a darkish kind of green, and the symbol on his stomach, on his body, isn't really outlined. It's just kind of painted there, and we'll talk about the difference on the other one in just a second. And let's bring in the other one. So here's the retro card one. The retro card one very much looks like the old 90s Toy Biz Spider-Man Prowler figure that I had. These colors match really just pretty much perfectly, including the shape of the cape. It is almost an exact match to what we had in that original figure. He has the black mask part. The eyes seem to be a little more rounded, like the mask parts, if I bring them in, like, there's a bit more of a curve. The Lizard one, they're almost kind of like straight edges, where my retro card one is more of a, like a curved edge. There is a black outline along the symbol on his body, and the belt has a little symbol as well painted on. The Lizard Wave does not. Otherwise, just, we're looking at a green and purple dude. The accents on my retro card one are not metallic, which I will admit I do like more. But honestly, if you look at the hands, there is, even though they're not quite as dark purple, they do have a bit of a metallic sheen to them. Even to the canister pieces around the boot tops, they do have that metallic kind of sheen to them. They do stand out a little bit from the mask and cape. I didn't realize until I was looking at it right now. So in terms of that, the paint and overall appearance round is going to go to my retro card Prowler. One other thing to point out, not that it always bothers me, but they're doing it more and more. This is a pinless body, so we don't see the pinholes or the peg holes like we do on the Lizard one. My second round is about the articulation, and near as I can tell, I think these figures have the same kind of amount of articulation. They all have boot cut, double knee joints, they have swivel up at the calf, the legs kick out and go sideways. We have waist rotation, we have ab crunch. This one can go back this far. We're going to talk about the ab crunch in just a second if anything's impeding on this one, on the retro card one. Arms rotate, go out, double jointed elbows, hands move. I think I forgot to talk about the feet, but feet, ankle rockers, go back and forth. These pieces on the boots tend to move. I don't know if they're glued in on the other one. They haven't seemed to move yet. Just going back up to the head, we have ball joint that goes up and down. This cape style kind of gets in the way of looking down, but you can do it if you press enough or just move the cape out of the way. And of course we get turning on there. Retro card one, let's see, we'll start at the feet. Has ankles any way you'd expect them to move. Boot cut, these don't seem to be moving on here. Double jointed knee, rotation, legs kick out. This actually goes sideways just a little bit more. Waist rotation, ab crunch, and the abdomen does go back. I was wondering if this cape would get in the way because it's keyed in, but it doesn't. So that's good. Arms can go all the way around, even with the cape. Just kind of got to work it around the cape, so the cape doesn't inhibit it really. No butterfly joints on the shoulders, which have been becoming more and more common. The double jointed elbow, hands rotate and bend, and at the head we can actually look a little further down because the cape being keyed in doesn't really get in the way. We can look up and we can turn left and right. So the articulation is just about the same. The only factor that really makes a difference on this one is that for my retro card version, because the cape is flat on the body, you can have the head look down. So just that little minor difference is going to have him win out on the articulation round. My third round is about the accessories, and the accessories on the Lizard Wave Prowler are non-existent. What you see is literally what you get. There's no alternate heads, hands, blast effects, none of it. Aside from coming with the Build-A-Figure piece, which I don't count as an accessory, this figure came with nothing, so what you see is what you get. The new Retro Card Prowler comes with a number of accessories. First off, he does have 2 alternate fists, and just like you would expect, they do just, pop in and out, on and off very easily. But one thing I want to point out, I want to focus in on them. Prowler, he's got these like long nails, kind of, gauntlets on his gloves. The hands, if you look closely, even on the fisted hands, you can kind of see that detail for like the clawed type hands. So that's a very nice touch that I was surprised to see. He also has an unmasked head. So, if you want to have Hobie Brown displayed without his mask or holding the mask, you can do that, which is really neat as well. I do appreciate a good alternate head. I've already seen people online saying that this would make like a good 1980s James Rhodes head if you want to repurpose it as that. So this actually has some stuff that you can kind of mess with, play around with. Not a bad thing. So with all that said, just because my new one comes with accessories whereas the old one doesn't, he's going to win out on round 3. My fourth round is about the price and availability of these figures. And the biggest problem that I have with the Retro Card Prowler is that it's a Walmart exclusive. Now, I was able to get my pre-order in on Walmart. It wasn't canceled. He arrived a lot sooner than expected, and I had very little problems. So I probably shouldn't complain, but I do know how tough and difficult it can be to find Walmart exclusives. In fact, the 2 Walmarts that are near me, I can never seem to find exclusives at. I've just taken to online ordering or relying on friends of mine who live near better Walmarts. So the Retro Card one, if you can find him in a store, is going to run you for around $25 plus tax. He's already going for more online, but $25's not bad. The Lizard Wave Prowler, the older one here, is selling online for anywhere between, I've seen as low as 10 and as high as 30. So, average 20, let's just say. Of course, you're relying online or in vintage shops to find him. It's not a bad price. It's just that you have to go out of your way to find it. Unfortunately, because the new one's an exclusive, and especially if you don't have a Walmart near you, it might be really hard to find this one. So I am going to give round 4 to the Lizard Wave one, just because eBay, that might be the better option. People might be dumping this one in favor of this one. So yeah, I'm giving round 4 to the Lizard Wave Prowler. My 5th and final round on which is better is my display compatibility round. I normally lean more towards comic when I'm doing this, or towards my favorite comic design. Prowler's been drawn in a number of different ways, and I've never really felt an overwhelmingly, deep connection to Prowler, so any way is kind of fine by me. What's really doing it for me this time around is the fact that I had the old Toy Biz Prowler figure, and my Retro Card one really does look like a modern update of that figure. I said, like, the cape is the same. We got the symbol here. It looks great. This looks like the toy that I remember having in my younger days and, being just a fan of. I liked that Prowler figure. I liked that it was, just a cool looking figure for my Spider-Man shelf. And even though the green and purple color scheme might sometimes be seen by other characters on a Spider-Man shelf, I still thought this was a really neat looking figure. So just because it kind of reminds me of my days of being a younger collector, I think this version is going to win out. One thing to say too, I did mention how on the Lizard version it has this really cool deep purple. In certain light, especially sometimes on my display shelf, it does get a little hard to see all the details on this figure. He just, the purple kind of gets a little lost if the light's not great or shining right on him. So I do think that this lighter purple is going to just stand out a little better. So yeah, this Prowler figure wins out on round 5 of Which Is Better. My retro card Prowler kind of ran away with this one, winning out on 4 of the 5 rounds. But let me know in the comments below, which Prowler figure do you prefer? Are you sticking with the old one? Are you going to try to track down this retro card release? I would love to hear your thoughts and feedback, so leave a comment below. Until next time, I've been Dan. You've all been pretty awesome. I'll see you around. Well, there we go. What did you think of this video? Sound off in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. Remember, we are making a push to get to 700 subscribers here on the channel. If we do that before the HasLab Giant Man arrives, I will be giving away the old Toy Biz Giant Man Build-A-Figure that you've seen on my shelf and things like that. So hit subscribe, leave a comment, hit like if you're so inclined, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in.